Good morning. Welcome to another edition of WDRB Media. I'm your host, LJ Shepard, on Swiss Money Radio. We're doing a lot of big things here. We're the voice of the community. And I have two excellent guests next to me. I have Centerio Greer with New York Life in the South Park area. And I have Mike Williams, and he runs International. I take that back. He owns International Minute Press in the university area. And the reason why I got these two guys here, one, Centerio, I think I met when I first got in town in Charlotte in July. And him and I met, and we just connected, and we know some folks, a brother named Yaba Baker down in D.C., so big shout-outs to Yaba, because that's my man down there. And he has a lot of knowledge of financial services, so I wanted to make sure I get him on the air to let him talk about what he does, who he is, and how he helps entrepreneurs. And on the other side, I got Michael Williams, who is an entrepreneur that left corporate America, I want to say some years ago.
Actually, this year.
So he's left corporate America. So I just figured to put these two guys together, because we have one entrepreneur and another guy who helps entrepreneurs. So I figured put them together. Let's politic, let's talk, and go away with some golden nuggets, some things that you can hear from these two gentlemen about entrepreneurship, and maybe about using Ontario for financial services. Because I know you're out there sitting at your cubicle right now thinking about a business. I know that's how I was thinking about a business, and I just decided to say, you know something, I got to go. I got to do something else. I have to go. But before you make that leap, before you make that jump, talk to a mentor. Talk to someone in financial services that can help you make that transition a little bit easier, because you don't want to have a business, to start a business, and 6 months down the road, you don't have no money.
Right.
Am I in the ballpark?
Yes, sir.
All right, so with that being said, I'm going to go to Centerio and tell us who you are, what you do, and then let's just dive into it and talk about, how you help entrepreneurs.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure, man. Great meeting you over the last few months. So my name is Centerio. I've been with New York Life for going on 8 years. I would say my role is to educate and empower people to understand how to protect their assets, their businesses, and also grow their own wealth. So how to invest, make smart, sound investment decisions, to not only keep the money that you earn, but invest it so your money begins to work for you. And so that way, you don't have to continue to work for your money forever.
And what are some of your clients that you look for right now? What's an ideal client for you?
Sure. Ideal client, that's a great question. Ideally, I like to work with folks between the ages of 35 to 50. I can't really say that there's a specific income level, because I've run into some folks that make a ton of money, $200,000-300,000 a year, but they don't save any, right? So I would narrow it down to the person that wants to leave a legacy. They want to. They're interested in learning about how to save and how to invest, or they're already doing it. They just want to enhance some of their own portfolio. So between the ages of 30, 50 years old, stable income. I love working with husband and wife, two-parent households, but I do have a lot of clients, single moms. I even got some single dads, and pre-retirees are always a good market too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to switch gears. I'm going to talk to Mike, because he is the entrepreneur. And it sounds like you said, I want to hear your story, because you was in corporate America, you walked away from corporate America, and now you run your own business. So tell us about your business, and tell us that fear that said, okay, how did you overcome that fear to walk away from corporate America to start your own?
Well, again, it's like, Centerio, thanks for having me on here. This is indeed a pleasure. When you say corporate America, I think, large buildings. Well, I was an educator, and I was in education for 17 years. Started off as a teacher, went up into school administration, and then ultimately to district level administration. I had a really good job. And someone said to me some years ago, "What's a job?" And they were trying to get me to go into my own business. They said, "Well, job stands for just over broke."
Yep.
Okay, and I looked at it like that, and that always stuck with me. And gosh, since I was a kid, I always wanted to have my own business, but I just didn't know how. But I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to college because that was stable and I could be comfortable with that. So what I decided to do, you talked about being in that cubicle and people thinking about, I want to start my own business. That's exactly where I was. Mm-hmm. Although I wasn't in a cubicle, I was in a nice, cushy district level office at a school district. Yeah. And I was very comfortable, making a great salary. And just one day I said, I want to do this. Yeah. And so I came home and I told my wife, I said, I think it's time. She laughed. She said, "Time to do what?" And I told her, I said, "I think it's time for me to, venture out and start my own business." She said, "You better make sure that you can take care of your things." And
pray about it.
But the thing about it was, I had her, and she was very supportive. So I knew that once I stepped out there, that I wouldn't be alone. And for those who are, if you're by yourself and you're thinking, "I can't do that," trust me, it's not as bad as you think. And taking that leap is something that, like you said, you pray about it, have a plan. I think Centario could definitely help you with, the financial part of it. And, you just take that leap. Because the one thing about it, if you keep saying, "I'm going to do it one day is going to come." And it's going to be too late.
It never happens. Mm-hmm. And to go back to Centario, when you hear individuals that was in corporate America about to take that leap in their own business, to take that risk, what advice do you give them to how to make that transition happen of a steady paycheck to actually, you get what you eat?
Right.
How do you make that?
You eat what you kill.
Yeah, that's right. So how do you make that transition, and talk to them about that?
Sure. Well, congrats to you, Mike. Man, much respect. That's one of the hardest things to do. Yeah, is leap out on faith that way. To answer your question, Lewis, I mean, I'm a big believer in taking steps and having a plan of action. So, maybe it is to lay some groundwork and some foundational things prior to just walking away from your job. I'm never gonna deter anyone from taking that step, but I want to be careful to say, I don't want people to just start walking out of cubicles today with no plan. Certainly you want to have a business plan. I think you want to have a team of individuals around you, whether it's someone like myself that can help you with your insurance, your investments for your business as a business owner, because now you're 1099, so the type of investments you would use are different than a W-2. Right, but you also want to have an accountant, right? You want to have someone that can guide you as far as setting up an LLC or an S corp, or just the structure of your business. So it's good to have resources in your back pocket.
And what other team? You did talk about a team yourself and a CPA. Mm-hmm. What other team of mentors could help you for individuals to have?
An attorney, right? Because some cases, you'll need an attorney. There may be, drawing up contracts, things like that. And then, of course, everyone should have a will, right? So that goes for everyone. But I always encourage people, reach out to someone that's already in your line of work. Mm-hmm. And if they have experienced a certain level of success, lean on them. Hopefully they'll be able to share some knowledge with you so that you don't come in the door not really understanding the industry, not understanding your clients or the market you want to approach. I always say, don't reinvent the wheel. Okay. Someone's already doing it at a high level. Yep. Follow them, break your neck to see what they're doing. Yeah. And then duplicate it.
And Mike, tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, before I go to that, Centario made a excellent point. I have a friend, and I'm going to give him a shout out here, Jamarcus Roy, who owns Omni Technologies up in the Baltimore, D.C. area. And he did exactly what you were saying. I called him. I said, "Listen, this is what I want to do." And everything that you just named, he laid it out for me. "Mike, you need to do this. Mike, you need to do that." Mm-hmm. I had no idea about any of that stuff. And when he said it to me, it became overwhelming. But he said, "I will walk you through it. I will walk you through it."
And that was the key. That was the key for you to get started.
And that was the key, yeah. And when he said it, I would go visit, and we'd just go out and just drive and just talk. Yeah. And so once I felt comfortable enough, he said, and if you need me, you call me. Right. So it's good to have that, and that's what I want to be to people going forward who want to do exactly what I did. Maybe not go into the print business, but they want to go out and start their own business.
And since we're on that, tell us about your business, because I know you have to do all of those things you have to do,
yep.
And then you have to pick a business.
Yes.
So
yes.
Since you picked the business,
yes.
Tell the people what kind of business you have.
Well, I'll tell you this. When I went into the print business, I knew nothing about it.
Okay.
I knew nothing about it. It was something that, there was another friend of mine from the military, he was in the print business up in the Buffalo area. And I decided to talk to him about it and say, hey, what about print? And, he told me. And so when I went into it, we are a business where people ask me, well, what do? You print? They think that I just print business cards or flyers. There's so much more to the print business that it's hard to name it. So the way I liken it, and I always tell people, they say, well, what do you print? I said, if words can go on it, I can print it.
That's your whole logo, right?
That's my logo, And I mean,
print that out.
Yeah, I mean, if words can go on it, I can print it. I had a lady who came in the other day. She had a beauty salon, and she said, I want my logo on this welcome mat. And I started laughing. She said, do you know anybody that can do it? I said, sure, I know somebody that can do it. She said, well, can I get their number? I said, well, if you turn around, the number's on the door back there. She said, you do that? I said, yeah. I said, if words can go on it, I can do it.
Okay.
I do promotional products. I do flyers. I do banners, business signs, anything where you can print words on it, or you want to get out and advertise your business or promote your business or event. Doesn't have to be a business. I work with small clients. I work with large clients.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter. If you want to promote it or print it or have it advertised, we can do it.
Well, so this is what I'm going to do. We're going to close out this segment, and I want to come back because I want to crack your minds into the entrepreneur mindset. New York Life, I know you work for someone, but you still have to have an entrepreneur mindset, because you got to go out there and get your clients every single day. They're not just coming to you and knocking down your door, are they?
Right. No.
So you have to think as an entrepreneur every single day. So we're going to go and take a break right here, pop some good music on, and then come back and tap into your mindset and go from there, and you guys can answer those questions. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
We'll be right back. You're listening to Swiss Money Radio. I'm your host, LJ Shepard, doing big things on WDRB Media, the voice of the community.